Don't get your feelings hurt. Read this.
Hello, welcome to Short Film Roundup, the only place in the universe where you can watch three cursed filmmakers reviewing user-submitted short films. I'm Kenny.
Wow. What's wrong with you?
I'm D.
I'm Taylor.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
I don't know.
What are we doing today?
I figured we'd just kind of sit and talk.
Sean Meehan. He's got movies.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
That's how I'm pronounce it.
I say Meehan.
Meehan?
Yeah.
I see Jason.
Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Who's
Jason's
to say
got
you're
a new
wrong?
film.
Who's to say you're wrong?
Sean Jason. That's his name.
Yep.
He just did Tail, which we just reviewed.
Yes.
Yes, and this film today is called Waste of Space.
That it is.
And it was submitted by Timothy J. Cox, our sponsor.
May as well be.
Our hero.
Yeah.
Let's get to it, guys.
If you haven't watched the film yet, there is a link somewhere around this viewer that you're watching.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a link somewhere.
Watch it first, and then let's talk about it.
So he's walking down the street.
I'm just
now.
gonna watch.
Oh yeah, so
I'm just watching the movie.
There's a silver
This is a good movie.
Corolla.
Kenny, why don't you get us started?
Okie doke. So
That's your car, dude.
Yeah, that is my car.
nice Corolla. I like that. What to say about Waste of Space? I actually enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
I did too.
I thought the performances were fantastic. And the whole concept was really interesting.
Mhm.
And if I want to, get into, what really works about it, is it just all felt believable. It felt real. What didn't work about it is I didn't feel like we had a whole story here. It sort of just left me wondering. Like there were several setups that didn't really have a payoff. Such as the webcam.
Oh yeah.
The webcam thing, right?
Or even this roommate.
Yeah, and the roommate.
Well, the roommate worked because he's part of the character. He's not a roommate.
He's not a roommate.
He's a neighbor.
That's a problem
But-
too, right there.
Right.
So there was a lot of things that were confusing, right? So one, it felt like this guy was his roommate, but he wasn't. In addition to that, there's a scene where he turns on the webcam to look at the burglar, and then we cut to the webcam perspective and then
Right.
back from it. And I really didn't understand why that webcam was turned on.
Well, I
it
think-
had no consequence.
It had no consequence, right?
Right.
Yeah, we understood why he did it, but
I didn't. I missed why he did
Well,
it.
do you think he wanted to spy on the burglar? Like he didn't trust him?
yeah.
See, that seems to be contrary to the character that he's showing.
I don't think so.
Like, because he doesn't look like he's skeptical of the guy at all. Like, he wants to, be friends with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the surface, I'm sure at the subtext level that he's turning on the webcam makes you think, oh, this guy is actually skeptical.
Yeah, well, we won't know because it didn't become a part of the story.
Correct. Yeah, it's something that's inferred there, and yeah, it didn't become part of the story at all.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that part when he turned on the webcam because it showed how much you can communicate in such a short time.
I think it's worth talking a little bit about character development with this film.
Wait, I wanted to show this part. So the webcam was just close up, and that was it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of filmmakers, I feel like, would have been long shot, pan up.
But you know what's funny is
tilt up.
I missed that though.
Yeah.
I totally missed it.
You needed it to be more on the nose.
I did. That is what I needed.
That's funny. That's funny.
What was I about to say?
I don't know. I interrupted you.
Character development.
Oh, yes. I think it's worth talking about character development in this
What a
film.
surprise!
Because we just had a discussion about this in Film Alchemist.
What's Film Alchemist?
Film Alchemist is our really cool Facebook group where we talk about films and how to make them better.
Neat.
Is that real?
Yeah, we'll
That's
tell you
something-
more about it shortly.
That's something I want.
But for now,
get into.
D, you started the discussion on character development. Turned into a nice, long, fun thread with lots of people philosophizing on how character development works or doesn't. And the big point we kept returning to is how challenging it is to do effective character development in a short film.
Yeah.
Without having, the 2-hour playground of a feature to show an intimate look at someone's life.
Sure.
It can be really hard, and then that's why a whole lot of short films come up short. It's probably the most common complaint we come back to again and again on Short Film Roundup.
Yeah.
Is the lack of character development. With this guy, the main character,
This guy.
I felt like they did Duncan.
Yep.
I feel like they did a very good job. And now they invested some time. He gave probably a third of this movie to developing Duncan before the burglar showed up.
Yeah.
I'm curious, about what time stamp did the burglar happen?
Looks like about here.
Okay, so about a third of the movie.
Yeah.
Was literally nothing but showing him, forgetting his keys again.
Right.
Showing the state of affairs of his house.
Yeah.
Showing the Harvard pride. Right. We know a lot about this guy and what kind of guy he is before, his pile of bottles and procrastinating, cleaning it up. What's interesting is it felt like they were developing a different character than it proved to be in the end. Not entirely, but and this might be like shallow thinking on my behalf, but I felt like when he started talking about his girlfriend, that he had a girlfriend named Tess, and he showed her picture, I thought he was lying.
Yeah, I did too.
Because it's like the movie's telling us that this guy is like sort of a loser.
Yeah.
And later when he says, "Oh yeah, I have a pretty high-paying job and this awesome girlfriend," I was like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah. So why is that then?
Well, it was great character development for a different character.
Yeah. So what was the point?
There was a lot of like dissonance in this movie.
So in the beginning, and this isn't a testament to character development, but it is just something interesting. You see what he's wearing, a suit. It's
Right.
the first time that we see this character.
Yes.
And obviously he's messed up here, looking for his keys.
Yeah, and he's also disheveled. Like his top button isn't buttoned.
Yeah, he's a little disheveled.
His hair looks a little, he looks a little frazzled.
From what I see is someone who has probably a pretty good job, enough to where, you need to dress that way. He's not coming home from, McDonald's dressed in like greasy clothes or anything.
No.
So automatically from the visuals right at the get-go, I'm seeing someone who's maybe a little behind on life, but basically is just like everyone else. And then when we come into the space that he has, and he has the drinking, and he falls asleep with chip bag on his chest. It feels like it's the classic, like college kid.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't grown out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels kind of weird because, like you said, there's a dissonance there.
Maybe there's more of the story that just didn't make it into the film. And this a lot of time happens with filmmakers who are a little too close to their content. You have a bunch of context in your head that doesn't make it into the picture.
Yeah.
He makes a very brief reference to his dad hooking him up, supporting him.
Right.
So, maybe this is just, he's like a failure to launch type who's sort of being pushed into that professional world, but is still, his internal world is still very much,
So maybe not enough
lazy
character development.
millennial.
Yeah.
What's funny about the girlfriend thing is I started to like Duncan so much to the point where when it's revealed that he has a girlfriend and his girlfriend is revealed, I felt like I was like, yeah, Duncan.
You were proud of him.
Yeah, I was like proud of him. Even
Yeah.
though it's like someone who seems to be like out of
in
his
your life. That's good, man.
Someone's out of his league.
Yeah.
Maybe you found it relatable, because I find his relatable also except for me it was the schooling thing, when the guy said, "Oh, did you go to Harvard?" and he's like, "Oh yeah, I went to Harvard." I was like,
Yeah.
"That's right." Like found it relatable, but not that I went to Harvard. It's just I feel like being him, showing one image and being another, is someone that I like to relate to, and so I feel like that was self-relating. But I'm not sure if that's good enough for character development.
I think it could have been if it was a different story.
Right.
So saying,
right.
It felt
if
like
it actually used it.
So when I gave it praise for character development, I meant that they spent the first third of the movie dedicated to telling us about this character.
Yeah.
Now the rest of the movie didn't necessarily align with what they were showing us, and so that's another problem. When the movie ended, your first comment, D, was that it didn't have a story.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Because it doesn't have a story.
No, but explain.
If stories have arcs, a beginning, middle, and end, and you tell it for a reason. At the end of this, we don't really have anything that gave us a reason as to why everything just happened, except for he's now cleaning his room. But I felt like that was kind of a one-off thing.
He said he was going to do that tomorrow anyway.
It felt like it was just like after he got off the phone with his girlfriend, he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to clean this place up. But that was it. But I didn't feel like he changed any
right,
motivated
or why
way.
like he needed to.
Yeah, why did he feel the way to
like
do that?
Right.
It's not like the mess was affecting his life.
Right.
If anything, it saved him from being robbed.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And the plot up to that point of the robber relations and then him stealing the package and all that had nothing to do with him being a messy person.
Right. And so there's like two like micro arches buried in here.
Yeah.
But neither of them had really any significance. So the other arc is the robber having his change of heart and coming back to give the package back.
Right.
But at the same time, so what?
Yeah.
It's like, what did and even the package coming back, like, it's not like it was something super significant in that package. It didn't change his world.
Yeah. So
or at least we didn't know.
It's like, what if he
significance
just
of it.
told him, hey, hun, I was robbed, and they took that package.
Right.
Like, would the world have been different?
Right.
I don't think so.
It
I don't
wouldn't
think it
have.
would have changed anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, this shows the change of heart in the robber because he sees how meaningful the gift was or something. But
yeah, because you know what happens? He opened that and saw that it
there
had
was
a
nothing.
worthless pen.
yeah.
And he's
He's
like,
like,
well,
"Oh,
this
I'm
isn't valuable.
Right.
I might as well. He was nice to me. I'll give it back.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Yeah, but giving it to him didn't really say anything about anyone other than the robber. Then had a little
Yeah.
change of heart, but that was about it.
Like, this movie had a lot of really interesting ideas that
Yeah.
all felt like really great seed crystals for
Sure.
awesome movies.
Yeah. I'll tell you the part that
They're just little pieces, though.
the part that I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting, is when the guy woke up here, and then he's not denying that he tried to rob the place, and this guy knows him. Duncan knows him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh hey, how you been? And they're clearly in two different spots.
Yes.
Duncan's done really well. This guy's not done so well. I'm like, oh, there's conflict here. Something's gonna happen. But then it didn't actually.
But and also, like, the part that had me super intrigued was like, why would Duncan do this, right? Why would he invite
right.
him in? He that's like an action of
Right.
someone who's like super lonely,
Desperate
for connection.
I got that too.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
why else would you do that?
Yeah.
And so that was like super interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like this is where the movie peaked.
Yeah.
Like, this was the peak of the movie, and it just kind of fell apart.
It kind of felt like they didn't know where to take the story from here.
See, it would have been cool if like the robber, instead of just being like acquaintances, they were like close friends that were like estranged from each other, and like he hadn't seen this friend that like in like a few years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then to see him like that would have been interesting to me.
Or even if they had no relationship.
Yeah.
And he's not inviting him in because he knows him.
Yeah, it's
he's
just a
inviting
lonely
him in
thing.
because he needs a friend.
Yeah, that would be interesting too.
But again, from sort of the story they reveal later on, it kind of looks like he doesn't need a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, because
he's got this awesome girlfriend in
he's
his
got
life.
a good job and good girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like it's as if they introduced a character and then said "gotcha" to the audience.
Right. This movie's about someone else.
Right.
Well, it needed to be more focused.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it had all the right pieces. just not quite focused on any one. There wasn't one thing to grasp onto, I guess.
Yeah. So.
And then it kind of just felt kind of cool, but a little bit, I don't know.
From a technical
Hollow.
aspect, they did rather well.
Yeah, I thought the lighting was fantastic.
The lighting
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah.
The sound was good.
The sound was great.
There was one weird cut where they cut to that two shot.
The two yeah, that was weird. This part.
So he
So
leaves
webcam,
the webcam,
and then
and
two
then
shot.
boom. instead of having him walk into that shot.
Right. Well, also look at their actions here. Action.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what it feels like.
Like they were just waiting in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what were they doing a minute before?
Yeah.
And it felt like he teleported into that spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not as
yeah.
bad as in Tail though.
Right.
Oh, same filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
It's a
interesting
theme.
because
Sean Meehan teleports,
teleports.
his characters.
Yeah.
So one vibe I got off this, because like we said, it didn't quite feel like a whole story, but it did feel like the kind of story people tell you of something that actually happened in their real life. Like this is the way a story sounds when someone says, the craziest thing happened to me yesterday. First this happened, and then this is how it ended, and it was wild. And someone goes, oh, wow, that's weird, you know?
yeah.
And just because something really interesting happens in your life, it doesn't necessarily just instantly become a good movie.
Yeah. I want to both agree and disagree with that at the same time because I've used that example before as a way of good storytelling.
Well, it can.
Yeah.
It can. If your anecdote of whatever happened to you
Yeah.
actually takes you to some conclusive end.
Right. So that's the thing. So if you were to tell someone about this story, you probably would leave out the part where you're like, well, and then my girlfriend called, and then so I was talking to her, and then the guy came back with the thing, and I opened it, and I was like, wow, this is a cool gift, hun, and because now it doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Yeah. The story
Right.
would have ended before that.
Would have ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, had a little unfocused, like you said.
Well, it's like, one time my wife wakes me up in the middle of the night and says, I think there's someone in the house, right? And so I get myself all psyched up and I grab the baseball bat and I go looking through the house trying to find what's going on. And I find a rat instead of someone in the house, and then I go kill the rat. That's the kind of story you tell people across the table at lunch break or something, and people
Sure.
go, "Whoa, dude!"
Sure.
But if I just film that the way it happened and show it,
Yeah.
it's not a very interesting movie.
It's not very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't use
even
that
though
as
it's an interesting story.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that as a qualifier though, but definitely, not everything needs to be a quote arc, because that doesn't necessarily qualify as one, and I understand that. But the only reason why anyone connects with you at a personal level when you're talking about that kind of story is because they're imagining that happening to them and they're building that empathic thread.
Sure. So we've talked about this before, that like in lieu of great character development,
Yeah.
or in lieu of a traditional beginning, middle, end arc, you can have a good passable movie, or even a great movie, if it's so experiential that you become a part of it,
Right.
feel yourself having that experience, and the characters don't matter so much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a pretty special thing to accomplish. Like you're making a film that's much more visceral, tactile,
Yeah.
experiential.
It's funny because that's how I view filmmaking just in general. Like me personally, like that's just how I feel like movies should be made.
to be like an experiential thing.
Experiential, but also go through plot.
But
Also,
I was going to say you're
Yeah.
pretty adamant about your blocks of.
Yeah. Yeah, but the things I
He's
like
our
to,
resident rule follower.
Nah, not sure about that. I think I'm a rule creator.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually true.
yeah,
That's a good way to put it, D.
Make them so you could break them.
Exactly. See.
And if you think that topic is interesting, as I do, you might want to join us over at Film Alchemist on Facebook. We talk about stuff like that all the time, have a bunch of live chats and other content, and it's a blast. Come join us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually just left that group.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was really annoying.
A little toxic.
You
Yeah,
were
a little bit toxic.
You were kicked out.
You know what? I don't know about that.
You were banned?
No,
Look,
we
no,
can't post porn.
There are rules.
Well-
Full frontal.
Nudity is not allowed. It's in the movie.
That wasn't
That
a
wasn't
movie.
a movie.
Yes,
That
it was.
a dick
When you-
pic.
When you film it yourself.
Not
that's-
mine.
Whose was it?
It was from a movie. But I left on my own accord.
After you were banned?
No, you guys just beat me to it. I was gonna leave, and
Anyway, there's an opening now.
Now there's an opening.
yeah,
we
were
only
full
allow
before.
a very limited number of seats
I'm
at
coming back.
the Film Alchemist table.
I'm making a new Facebook. I'm joining again
You'll have to apply.
under a different name. You won't even know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that and much more at Film Alchemist.
Join Film Alchemist. We got dick pics.
Yeah, and if you're into that, that's fine. And if you're not, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just ignore them. Join anyway.
To each their own.
If you have a film and you want us to talk about it.
Wait.
What?
We gotta ask questions.
No, if you have a film and you want us to talk about it, then send it our way. There's a link somewhere around here, and you click on it and send us your film.
We would so love to do this to you.
Definitely.
We would love to. Give us a
sounds terrible.
chance. Give us a chance to do this to you.
Let's move on to our second part of our show. This is where we talk directly to the filmmaker themselves.
Question.
Before we move on, audience, if you would like to, please leave a comment what you thought about this film and any
Filmmaker questions. It's like a theme song.
advice that you have for the filmmaker or any questions that you have for the filmmaker. So with that being said, let's talk to Sean himself.
Mr. Meehan.
Anyone, start.
I'll start. Was this film based on a true life experience or just the product of your imagination? Or was it a dream?
It was a dream. It was definitely a dream.
Maybe it was that.
I want to say that this was totally filmed. Just being, you're like, I have this place. Why don't I make a movie for this place? Did you do that? Because I want to know.
What were you trying to achieve with this movie? What did you want the audience to take from it or feel from it? Was this kind of supposed to be this experiential journey, or was there supposed to be a more fine-tuned
What are you doing?
plot? What was your intention?
Are you a hooker?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Nice hook.
Yeah, that'll be $30.
I don't want it.
$30.
Any more questions for Mr. Meehan?
I don't think so. Oh, are we saying your name right?
Nope.
It's a fair question.
Sean?
Sean, join us in Film Alchemist. We would love to have you there, and I hope you'll send us some more films.
Yeah. With that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
good.
you for sending us this one. It was rad.
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 We're done here.
We done here.
In the super void.
Time to power down.
Power down.
Yep, powering down.
Power down. Kenny, wake up. You just put your head down. Nothing's powered down.